I teamed up with Dan from Man Cake and Mark from Epic Confections, and we all did our own version of an island cake. If you want to try this out, start out with a 6-inch cake layered with either buttercream or ganache. You'll need a springform pan large enough so there is space around your cake. Start carving to your heart's desire. To make your island, or in my case, a backdrop for my mermaid, use leftover cake mixed with buttercream or ganache. Refrigerate for 20 minutes. You'll need a batch of ganache. You can find my recipe on this channel or in my book on Amazon. Coat your cake well to seal it. And refrigerate it again. Place your cake on an 8-inch cardboard or a size that will fit into your pan. I'm creating an ocean bottom with more cake pop material here. I decided to do buttercream decorations versus fondant or gum paste. I happen to have a lot of frozen leftovers from my Zoom classes. You can use ganache or buttercream to help keep your cake in place. This is the bottom of the springform pan. Pipe some ganache around the edges to help keep the leakage to a minimum. The Jell-O will leak a little bit. The ring then goes over the cake, and then you lock it in place and refrigerate it again. Now comes the real fun. You want to wrap your pan with plastic wrap and tape it really well. This also helps to prevent the leakage. Now this is where we had some difficulty. Preferably, you want to use acetate sheets for this. I could not find it anywhere, and I didn't have time to order, so I used vellum paper, which I found at Michael's, which has some waterproof qualities and is fairly stiff. We tried placing it, but were afraid to wreck the flowers around the edge. So we took a break, took a breath, fed the fish, and kind of tried to relax a little bit, and then we got back to it. I had to remove the plastic wrap and the tape so we could reposition the collar. We then put the ring on and lastly added the collar. I forgot to mention the collar was greased with shortening. That's important. For the Jell-O part, you may want to check out Mark and Daniel's recipes. I did it straight from the Jell-O package directions, which makes a very soft Jell-O that probably wouldn't hold up well for the deep ocean island cakes. I will leave a link for you at the end of the video to Mark and Daniel's cakes. Once the Jell-O is at room temperature, you can pour it in slowly and carefully. The cake was then refrigerated overnight, and first thing in the morning we got right to it. My perfectly imperfect island cake came out more like a tidal pool, but this is where the challenge comes in. I'm going to build a wall with more cake pop material. It will help to hold the pool together and also create kind of more of a tidal pool look. Since it looks like a tidal pool, I'm just going to go with it. Then I remembered my mermaid, and she was the perfect addition. I felt like the water should be deeper though, so my mermaid could be submerged a little bit. I love it. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the white accents on the rocks. I made those by brushing white food coloring over them. This creates a highlight. Click the playlist, go see Mark and Dan's island cakes, and also I added some other island cakes that were really helpful when I was making mine.